An alarming reminder regarding your morning routines. An event that occurred earlier today sent shockwaves through the entire community. A woman who was 73 years old, active, and full of life, and who did not have any serious health issues, passed out on the floor immediately after getting out of bed. Symptoms in the past, and no indication that anything was wrong, were present. Be the beginning of a typical day, turned out to be a wake-up call as well. Same caution might be applicable to you as well. No other situation like this one. Day, millions of elderly people engage in seemingly innocuous morning routines that are actually causing them to lose their physical strength, causing damage to their circulation, hastening the aging process, and increasing the likelihood that they will experience heart problems, accidents, and falls. Determine whether you will have vitality and independence in the first minutes of the day by taking simple actions. If you do not take these actions, you will be left vulnerable to the passage of time. Guide. I will discuss the 5 most common errors that senior citizens make when they first try to wake up, and more importantly, I will explain how to easily and effectively correct these errors. Stage of life. These adjustments have the potential to bring about increased vitality, equilibrium, freedom, and mental clarity. Going until the very end, because the 5th error is most dangerous one, and almost no one discusses it, despite the fact that it silently destroys the health of thousands of people throughout the world. Faith in this journey. Made the decision to safeguard my physical and mental well-being on a daily basis. Determination to live a life that is more powerful and conscious is reaffirmed by this affirmation. Getting up too quickly is the first mistake. Take a moment to imagine that you wake up, open your eyes, and almost without any conscious effort, you force yourself out of bed. Is a part of the routine for millions of people all over the world. Majority of people never take the risks into consideration. Age of 60. When the circulatory system begins to slow down, this haste can be the first step towards serious cardiovascular events, such as falls, fractures, hospitalizations, or other potential complications. People don't realize the silent danger that comes with getting up suddenly until it's too late. Body slumbers for several hours during the night, which time blood circulation slows down, blood pressure drops, and muscles relax completely. Risk. For orthostatic hypotension, which is a sudden drop in blood pressure that prevents blood from reaching the brain in a timely manner. This occurs when you wake up and rise without giving your body time to adjust. Vision, leg weakness, and fainting are all symptoms that result from this. People, even those who are in good health, will fall asleep in their bedrooms shortly after waking up simply because they do not give themselves enough time to adjust. Morning falls are the leading cause of serious fractures and hospitalizations. However, many of these falls could be avoided by taking some straightforward actions. The ancient teachings of Buddhist monks, the act of waking up, is a divine ceremony. Manner in which you wake up determines the course of your day and, over the course of your life, your entire existence. Bring the body back to consciousness. It is necessary to do so in a manner that is slow and respectful of the natural flow of circulation and vital energy. Order to maintain vitality, stability, and clarity. Even in advanced age, monks have been using practices such as moving their fingers, taking deep breaths, and gently stretching while lying down for centuries. Science has demonstrated that this strategy significantly lowers the risk of falling and cardiovascular disease. How to proceed? You first open your eyes. To taking 2 or 3 deep breaths, you should also move your fingers and toes and rotate your wrists and ankles. Side. Sit on the edge of the bed and allow your feet to touch the ground. Roll over onto your side. Position for 20 to 30 seconds while rotate your feet and move your shoulders. You have reached a steady position. Stand slowly and aware. Potential to prevent injuries, falls, and months of rehabilitative time. Difference between beginning the day in a secure manner and leaving your fate up to chance is this. Mistake 2. Not drinking enough water in the morning. Your heart beats, your lungs breathe, and your cells can regenerate while you are sleeping. Your body is constantly working. Even if you are unaware of it, this is a water-consuming activity. Despite the fact that your body is already mildly dehydrated when you wake up, many elderly people choose to ignore this fact and begin their day without drinking any water. This causes a chain reaction of problems that are not immediately noticeable, including thicker blood, compromised circulation, unstable blood pressure, and an increased risk of heart attacks, strokes, and falls. Because the natural sensation of thirst diminishes after the age of 60, it is possible to be dehydrated without experiencing a sensation of thirst. The circulatory system is put under stress from the very first hour of the day if one begins their day with coffee, medications, or without any fluids. The heart has to work harder as the blood becomes thicker, which causes it to overload a system that responds more slowly as one gets older. Consider Mrs. Mary, who was 76 years old and thought she was in good health. In spite of the fact that she walked frequently and led an active lifestyle, she started experiencing headaches, fatigue, and dizziness in the morning. Until she passed out in her kitchen after getting up, she believed that it was a natural part of the aging process. The patient was diagnosed with hypertension and mild dehydration when they arrived at the hospital. Within a matter of weeks, she was able to almost completely eliminate her symptoms by keeping a glass of water by her bedside and drinking it as soon as she woke up. They teach that before the body acts, it must be honored with what sustains it. This is something that Buddhist monks teach. Water is the first thing that the body consumes in the morning, and it helps to cleanse and get the body ready for movement. Drinking water first thing in the morning is a gesture of respect for the body, as it helps to improve circulation, maintain stable blood pressure, and contribute to enhanced clarity. How to proceed. Water should be consumed before coffee, the news, or social media. Keep a glass close at hand. If you find it difficult to drink, begin with small sips, or add a few drops of lemon juice to stimulate digestion. The feeling of thirst is a delayed signal. The real protection occurs before it becomes apparent. This uncomplicated action has the potential to protect your life for decades. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach is the third common mistake. A great number of people start their day with the aroma, warmth, and awakening sensation that coffee provides. It is almost sacred, but after the age of 60, drinking coffee on an empty stomach can be one of the worst habits for one's health. The damage is gradually increasing, much like an unseen crack that eventually causes the structure to collapse to the ground. Your body will have low blood sugar, depleted energy, and a sensitive stomach due to the fact that you have been fasting for several hours. Coffee in its purest form stimulates the production of gastric acid even in the absence of food, which protects the lining of the stomach and can lead to gastritis, acid reflux, discomfort, or ulcers, particularly in elderly people who have digestive problems. John, who was 75 years old at the time, believed that drinking strong coffee first thing in the morning would give him more energy. He began to experience stomach pains, chest burning, and severe acid reflux over the course of time. Following the explanation of the impact by a nutritionist, John started eating a small portion of something before his coffee, such as a banana, nuts, or whole grain bread. In a matter of weeks, the discomfort that had persisted for years vanished. Buddhist monks adhere to a principle that states that strengthening the body should come before stimulating it. To protect the stomach, heart, and emotional stability, they consume light meals before engaging in intense spiritual practices. This is done even when they are engaged in intense spiritual practices. This attention lays the groundwork for the rest of the day. How to proceed. Consume something light, such as a banana, nuts, whole grain bread, or yogurt, prior to drinking your coffee. In order to protect your stomach and maintain a balance in the amount of caffeine that you absorb, it is not necessary for it to be a full breakfast. It is possible that this adjustment will, over time, alleviate discomfort. Improve mood, energy, and sleep quality. Mistake 4. Failure to acknowledge morning stiffness. If they wake up with a slight stiffness in their legs, shoulders, or back, many elderly people choose to ignore it. Just as if nothing were wrong, they get up, stretch quickly, and continue on with their day. This rigidity, which is typical after the age of 60, is a silent signal that the body requires care, particularly in the first few minutes. If it is ignored, there is a greater likelihood of strains, muscle injuries, and falls, all of which can have severe consequences. As a result of the relaxation of muscles, the slowing of circulation, and the accumulation of synovial fluid, a joint lubricant, movements become rigid during sleep. Moving too quickly without allowing lubrication to normalize causes muscles and joints to sleep, which can result in tears, sprains, or imbalances that can lead to falls. Mrs. Margaret, who was 79 years old, was a very active person who cherished the early morning hours. She was awoken by the sensation of heavy legs, but she hurriedly made her way to the loo. Her knees became locked one day, and she lost her balance, causing her to fall and hit her hip. Despite the fact that she did not sustain a fracture, she was terrified of moving around by herself for several weeks because she did not respect her body's need to fully awaken. Buddhist monks engage in a practice known as conscious awakening, which teaches that upon awakening, the body and mind transition between a state of rest and one of action. Before engaging in strenuous activity, they devote a few minutes to performing light movements, stretching, and breathing exercises. This helps them maintain their physical health, mental energy, and emotional equilibrium. Be patient and give your body a few minutes to adjust to the new environment. Move your fingers and toes, rotate your ankles, and stretch your arms above your head while you are lying down. In order to stretch your back and move your neck from side to side, you should sit on the edge of the bed. The neuromuscular system is strengthened, circulation is activated, and joints are prepared through the use of these gestures. Just 2 or 3 minutes can add years to your sense of independence, equilibrium, and vitality. 5th error, not taking proper posture. When you wake up. The mistake that is the most dangerous appears to be inconspicuous, but it steals strength, stability, breathing, and confidence without being noticed. Many elderly people stand up with their shoulders slumped, their heads bowed, and their torsos collapsed. This posture gives the impression of weakness, causes breathing to collapse, compresses organs, and causes the center of gravity of the body to become unbalanced, which increases the likelihood of experiencing dizziness, tripping, and accidents in the first few hours. When you have poor posture, your blood oxygenation decreases, which can result in fatigue and mental confusion. In addition to affecting digestion, which can lead to bloating or constipation, studies have shown that it also has an effect on mood and memory, which can lead to feelings of insecurity and sadness. Ba Elena Sang, who was 81 years old, was an active person who enjoyed walking, reading, and spending time with her family. Unbeknownst to her, she started standing up with her back arched and her eyes fixed downward. Dizziness was the first symptom, followed by a minor trip, and finally a fall that severely restricted her mobility for several months. She gradually lost her equilibrium and her ability to react as a result of her morning posture. The posture of a Buddhist monk is considered to be the physical manifestation of this vital energy. It is a sign of respect for life to lift oneself up with the spine in a straight position, shoulders in alignment, and eyes facing forward. It is through this awareness that muscles, bones, breathing, and the mind are preserved, which in turn fosters strength and independence. It is recommended that you sit on the edge of the bed and stretch your spine as if you were growing taller before standing up. Inhale deeply, bring your shoulders back, and maintain a position in which your chin is parallel to the ground. Be sure to keep your torso upright and look up at eye level rather than down when you are stepping. Move in a mindful manner, attempting to feel your body working in harmony. By making this adjustment, you will safeguard your strength and nourish your clarity, confidence, and connection to life. The unseen influence of even minor alterations. There is a possibility that you will think, "I have always done these things, and nothing bad has happened to me." Habits give people a false sense of security, and that is a human trait. A bridge, with invisible cracks that give way without any prior warning, is a good analogy for the human body. Unhealthy behaviors do not have an immediate impact. Rather, they gradually deteriorate circulation, balance, and strength without being noticed. An accident like a fall, a heart attack, or a fainting may feel unexpected, but it is actually the result of years of ignoring warning signs. The following is a teaching from Buddhist monks. What you do today silently builds or destroys your tomorrow. Compassionate deeds are like seeds that are planted every day. Choices have an effect on your body, and the habits you develop in the morning will determine the freedom you have in the future. The fact that you hurried out of bed, skipped water, drank coffee first, or ignored posture does not mean that you are in a bad position. When you begin to engage in healthy behaviors, your body will begin to regenerate. Changes that are relatively minor today can disrupt processes that, if left unchecked, will result in limitations tomorrow. A way to achieve vitality. You've demonstrated that you are unique by actively seeking awareness, which is the real beginning of transformation. When you have an understanding of how your actions on a daily basis shape your future, you are on the path to living a long and free life. Getting up slowly, drinking water, eating before coffee, paying attention to posture, and moving consciously are all significant details that many people fail to pay attention to. Strength, equilibrium, and independence are all maintained by them. You don't have to wait until they are gone before you start to value them, but no one else does. Every morning presents an opportunity to plant the seeds of vitality and protection. It does not have to be perfect or radical. All you need to do is start with respect for the body that is responsible for your survival. Regression is not synonymous with aging. Rather, it can be a sign of wisdom, strength, and peace. It's possible that this message is a sign that you should write your story with awareness, love, and strength within you. Every act of kindness conveys gratitude to your body for everything it has done for you. Your body is your first home. Follow this course of action. Leave a comment below in which you say, "I make the decision to take care of my health every day, beginning with the little things. I am making a commitment to the future that you are entitled to." Give this information to someone you care about, who is in need of a motivational boost to begin again. Choose to live a life that is full of vitality, balance, and freedom. Your morning choices are shaping the life you will live.